Hello, this is Wmpyr, here to get into some more detail of knife boxing, knife fencing, um, based off of my most recent video, which is the three different scenarios or situations that we're going to be applying combat to, which is number one, I said, is assault, number two is fighting, and then number three is self-defense. Okay, super, super important. So we're going to apply that to what we know about knife boxing and knife fencing. So first, before I even get into that, let's talk about what you're learning when you first start in Escrima, what you first started, okay? So you're going to learn the angles of attack. So this is some kind of form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It could be 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever. A lot of times it is 12 moves. But so you're going to learn your angles of attack. The other one is the heaven six. Heaven six can be done. It is possible with single six, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so you can do it with a single weapon, but generally speaking, we do heaven six. As you can see, since we're using both arms, we're going to use normally 2 weapons. Okay, but it could totally be done with single. All right, so both of those, what you're doing to me right off the bat, because as a beginner, we're not talking about footwork, we're not talking about getting away around their arms or their weapon, putting it down and attacking, stuff like that. It's just do the form, right? And it's pretty straightforward. Because you're immediately able to just make contact in the form as a beginner, the way that you're training, that tells me it's in medium range. And the other thing is, like I said, you're not dealing with, well, the opponent's going to be doing this to you, so therefore you're going to sidestep this way and you're going to counter with this slash. No, it's not like that. So therefore, that also tells me that the opponent's not doing anything at this stage. Therefore, this is an assault. They're not fighting back. They're not defending. This is assault. So what you're learning in the beginning is medium range assault tactics, essentially. Okay, and that's why to me this is good for the military, because you can't do this as a civilian. It's illegal. You're going to end up in jail. And this is also why I said to you guys that what you're learning in the beginning, it makes sense with the Filipino philosophy, which is if you want to defend against a knife, you first have to learn how to use the knife. That is just a philosophy, right? So whether it's a stick or a fist or whatever, if you want to learn defensive skills, first learn offense. You got to understand what the heck's coming at you. So if you learn how to do it, then you have a better understanding of what's coming at you, kind of thing. So that's the Filipino philosophy, which makes sense to me. And so you're learning offense first. Like I said, medium range assault. And that's why I've also said to you guys that this is kill or be killed. For a beginner, the first thing that you learn in Filipino martial arts is killed or be killed stuff. Okay? So if I'm in the subway and 3 scary looking people coming over and they're looking for a victim and I could tell. All right, so at that point, my skill set, what I've learned right now in Filipino martial arts as a beginner, I don't have the defense. So I can't defend or I can't counter whatever they're going to do. So then that's why it's kill or be killed. I got to attack them first. If I know for certain they're going to attack me, then I need to do it first and I need to take them all out. So that's why I call this kill or be killed. And that's the first stuff that you're learning. Okay, so that's why it's so amazing and intense and scary. And that, somewhere along the lines when I first learned this stuff, and maybe had only been like 5-6 years since I've learned it, I had the understanding at the time, not as articulate as today, but even then, I was just a college kid, and my understanding was and I remember being in San Antonio, Texas, in a not so nice part of town, I understood that if I ever got into a confrontation, altercation with somebody there, that this is no rules. This is the street. So chances are I need to use some kind of weapon. I need to. I'm not huge, you know. I have to. And if I am going to use a weapon, then this is pretty much, this is kill or be killed. Therefore, I need to avoid any kind of confrontation as best as I can, because I'm going to end up killing the person. And that's not because, like, you know, some inexperienced person trying to act macho and said, well, you know, if I got into a street fight, I would have to hurt the guy, you know, and I don't know how bad I'll hurt them, and I won't be able to stop, and, you know, it's going to be horrible. You know, that's someone that doesn't know how to fight. You know, I'm talking about based off of my skill set at the time, right? That's what it was. And at the time, I was trying to understand the defense part, and I was doing full contact fights, and I was learning that was very, very difficult. That was a long path, and it was a long path since then. Looking back on the past, I didn't have the defensive skills, and I knew it when it came to Filipino martial arts. I didn't have defensive skills that I could do in full contact with weapons, and I understood that. With or without weapons, I understood that. So anyway, like I said, what you're learning there is kill or be killed. Now let's go to knife boxing. So I said, if you're doing this with the knife, and you're doing the angles of attack or heaven 6, angles of attack, boom, 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 this kind of thing, or heaven 6, boom, 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 this kind of thing, with the knife, it really doesn't change. The movements don't change, whether it's stick or knife, as you saw. Now, you can go reverse grip, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. Just standard grip. It's pretty much a direct translation. And it's the same thing. This is medium range assault tactics. That's what we're doing here. Okay, that would work for that. Or I can't guarantee work, so I hate using that word, but that is what that tool is designed for. Okay? So knife boxing. Knife boxing looks like boom, boom, bam, 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 right? Looks like that. Looks like a completely different animal than this. Why? Well, for one, it is a different animal, right? Knife boxing, I've said to you guys, is for medium range. So this is medium range, primarily. Okay, so they're both medium range. What's the difference? When do I use knife boxing? When do I use this? Or this? When do I, you know, and why do I go into, boom, boom, bam, bam. Why do I go into that? You know, which one? And the knife boxing can it be used for assault? Yes. Of course, I could just go up to someone and just bam, bam, just start wailing on them, just start going at it. For sure, I can. So yes, it could be used for assault. Can it be used for self-defense? Yes, it can. And there's video proof of not knife boxing, but there's video proof of people using boxing in street altercations, and they're able to successfully defend themselves. Okay. So it is possible to use boxing for self-defense, all right? And it can be highly effective, but it could also be highly a bad choice too. But that just depends, case by case. But anyway, so it is possible. But knife boxing shines in fighting. Boxing, wrestling, those are fighting styles. Therefore, it's best in fighting. So if they're fighting back and I'm fighting, then I would recommend knife boxing. Okay, so if you're in a fight, okay, rather than going this, I would recommend you change to this. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, change to that rather than doing, if you're in a fight, okay? Why? Because knife boxing shines in a fighting environment, all right? So this one right here, boom, bam. This one shines in an assault environment, okay? Not in a fighting environment. Now, can it be used for fighting? Absolutely, absolutely. Can it be used for self-defense? Absolutely. But I'm talking about more the beginner level, all right? Because in order to use it for fighting, you're going to have to develop stuff. In order to use it for self-defense, you're going to have to develop stuff. To use it for assault, it's the most bare minimum preparation that you need. You could learn it, and then you could pretty much just go apply it, right? So there's not a lot of things that you got to go figure out. So that's why this is best for assault, okay? Best for assault. Knife boxing, once again, best for fighting. Now the other one is knife fencing. So knife fencing, how does that translate to the knife? Okay, and I showed it to you guys, is it goes the same angles of attack that you're doing, you're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you could see my motions are much, much more compact. Very, very compact. Okay. Knife fencing versus knife boxing. When do we do, when do I go to this and when do I go to this? Bam, bam, bam. When do I go to that, right? Knife boxing is medium range, like I said to you guys before, and knife fencing is long range. So that's one easy indicator, is how far away are you from this guy. So where you're at is going to tell you which tool to use. So if you have the distance, yeah, use knife fencing. If you're medium range, use knife boxing, okay? With knife fencing, can we assault another person? Yes, absolutely. Can we fight another person? Yes, absolutely. But to me, knife fencing shines in self-defense. Why? Because of the distance. And in self-defense, we're talking about survival. That's what we want. We want to survive. I don't want to destroy the person. I don't want to dominate the person. For me, it's about surviving, getting away, protecting myself. And so the further away, the easier, the better that is. The closer in, the more dangerous of a situation I'm in. So the further away, it just makes sense. That's better for self-defense, right? Further away. Therefore, knife fencing is one that allows you to be further away. So that's the best, in my opinion, for self-defense. Like I said, it could still be used for assault. It could still be used for fighting. But I'm recommending knife fencing for self-defense. Now, the key here is your arm is out here, right? So I'm constantly doing this. So just this alone, this stance alone, if they ran at me, and I could even have my eyes closed, they're going to run into the knife. So this presents a problem for them, right? So I constantly, it makes it harder for them to just come in, just having this out here. So this makes sense. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, to have this out here. What you have to understand about having your arm out here, okay, what you need to understand is if your arm is out here and you're presenting this problem in their face, unless they're stupid, which humans are not. Overall, yes, we do a lot of stupid things, but we're also very smart. They're going to do something about it. And the two most basic things is they're going to hit it. That's one. And number two is they're going to grab it. So it's kind of like boxing and wrestling. Those are really the only two options. They're going to hit you on the hand or arm. They're going to hit your arm, or they're going to grab your arm. So if you are not prepared for that, then this is a bad idea. If you're just doing this constantly like this, then you're vulnerable to a lot of things. So this, you have to view it as this is a trap. Yes, this is to keep the distance, make it harder for them to come in, always have this in their face, yeah. But it's also a trap. It's like they try to come grab it, boom, oh, I just cut them. They try to hit it, oh, I just counter them back. This is a lure. You have to view it that way. So don't just leave it out. There's no way. And there's not a fencer on the planet today. And yes, I know that the Olympic fencing today has moved away from the combat that it came from, the combat purposes it came from. It's become a sport, you know, but still there's a lot of elements in there that you can trace back to combat. And there's not a fencer on the planet that would just leave their arm out like this. And if they did, this is not only an obstacle, a problem that you're presenting to the opponent, it's also a trap. It's a lure. Okay, so you have to be able to do that. Last thing I want to address is people also practice these kinds of long range strikes, like huge strikes. And I've seen it in Filipino martial arts, especially with the sticks. They do that. Long range attacks like that. Okay. They're not doing this. Why? I'm going to tell you guys, what's the difference? The difference is when you're making these long motions like this, you're entering into medium range. So I'm in long range right now, and I'm doing my fencing, boom, 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 right? And then I see an opportunity to counter or attack them. And when I go for it, boom, now it's a big motion. Okay, it doesn't have to be. I can attack like this. But I'm going to go for this long, big motion because not only do I want to attack them or counter them, I want to go into medium range. So it's long range, medium range. I want to go into the next range. I want to go in closer. So that's when that comes in. Okay. If I don't want to and I want to stay in long range and I want to keep attacking this way, just do it like this. Yeah, I don't need to make this big motion. In fact, it's a bad idea to make a big motion in long range because we're far away, they can see it, you're telegraphing, it's not a good idea. It has to be small. Okay, I can't really explain it well, but it's kind of like having to do with like a sniper from far away. That already changed. Just a small motion over here, my target's now way off. You know, my targeting is now with just a small motion like that, and I'm way off because I'm trying to hit something way far away. So it has something to do with that. Okay, is what I can tell you. So therefore, I want my motions here small, boom, 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 small. Okay, small, and I'm staying in. But if I know that I'm going to get in closer, then I could do this long trajectories, and in it I could target multiple things. So I could go for, like, let's say his head, and I know that he's going to move out of the way, or he might. I hope he doesn't because that's what I want. But when he moves out of the way, then I could hit his collarbone, I could hit him in the hip, I could hit him in the knee. So I'm going for multiple targets. Okay. Multiple targets by doing that. So anyway, I hope that helps. I know I talked about a lot of things, and these are fairly complex stuff, but I try to make it as logical as possible. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.